1987 was the last time Coventry won the FA Youth Cup, the same year, of course, that the club picked up the FA Cup proper. Tonight here at Highfield Road, the latest crop of sky blue talent has the chance to add to those successes as we bring you the first leg of the 47th time-sponsored FA Youth Cup final. In their way, West Ham United, themselves twice winners of the competition, but it's been 18 years since they last lifted this trophy, which is currently held by Everton, who beat Blackburn 5-3 on aggregate in last year's final. Well, good evening from Highfield Road, where it's been raining all afternoon, but the game goes ahead. The pitch is okay. Clive Allen will be here at half-time to give us his thoughts, but with kick-off fast approaching, let's join our match commentators, who are Brian Marwood and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Marcus. Good evening, everyone. Rain indeed, almost akin to that which delayed the under-21 international last month in Hungary. Streets around the ground were flooded. Water was spurting up through the manhole covers. It really did pour down. But Brian Marwood, the pitch has taken it pretty well, it seems.
Well, magnificent. You and I were sort of down there a little bit earlier, Martin, and a terrific playing surface. Full credit to the groundsman here after the end of what was really been an amazing Premier League season for Coventry, and the pitch is still as immaculate as it was at the start.
Well, this is the 7th year in a row in which we brought you the FA Youth Cup final on Sky Sports, now sponsored by the Times newspaper. And the good folk of Coventry are out in force in support of the younger element at their favourite football club. Well, let's introduce these youngsters to you. Coventry City's goalkeeper Chris Kirkland has been on the first-team bench in recent weeks and will be again at Derby tomorrow, while the youngest in this 11 is also the youngest player to have ever appeared in the Premiership, Gary McSheffrey, who's still only 16, a prolific scorer at this level. Midfielder Craig Peed, a graduate from the FA National School, he'll try and pull the strings in midfield. They've had to make a change at left-back with Matt Lewis from Mid-Wales replacing Daniel Hall, who was injured in the second leg of the semi-final.
Well, this will be a tough task for this Coventry City side, of course. Playing on their home ground, it's important that they can take a good advantage to Upton Park for next week. But 4-3-3, McSheffrey is the player to watch. He's the man that did the damage in the semi-final against Newcastle United. And Craig Peed, as you've rightly said, Martin, is the playmaker in there. And Robert Betts, well, it's an important evening for him. How strong can he get in on Joe Cole and not allow this exciting West Ham youngster to really pull the strings in that area?
Joe Cole is certainly the name that catches the eye in the West Ham lineup, but they are by no means a one-man team. Goalkeeper Stephen Bywater, a big money signing from Rochdale. The club's strong Australian connections, responsible for Michael Ferrante in midfield and Richard Garcia up front. The captain, Ezomo Izzy, they like to call him Irikben. He'll be 17 next Friday, and he would love to celebrate that birthday by collecting the FA Youth Cup.
Well, this West Ham United side certainly start this game the favourites. They'll go with 5 at the back and 3 in midfield. And the 3 in midfield is very important indeed. Joe Cole we've already talked about, but Michael Ferrante and Michael Carrick, very strong players, very talented players. And watch out for Richard Garcia, the number 10, the Australian, very exciting, scored lots of goals for West Ham this season, and he certainly will be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, West Ham's first team at Everton tomorrow, but on the journey north, Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard have popped in here to see how the youth team will do. And to keep an eye on Joe Cole, who's been released from first-team duties to play his part in a season which only began for him in November because of a freak accident last summer that kept him out of football until then. Great faith in these parts in Gary McSheffrey. 37 goals he scored in all youth team competitions this season. Referee Rob Harris expecting a quieter time with West Ham's youth team than he had with the senior side last Saturday at Upton Park. Well, this is the national competition at under 18 level. been going for the best part of 50 years. An intriguing climax this season. West Ham, regular achievers in youth football, standards set by Ron Greenwood all those years ago and John Lyle, and carried on for 25 years and more now by their current guru at this level, Tony Carr. Well, how will the players be able to move the ball around on this sodden surface? West Ham, one would say, are the favourites. They've also reached a Premier Academy final at under-19 level, and they'll play Sheffield Wednesday the week after next. Coventry, with good organisation, have progressed maybe beyond their expectations, but they want to get a good start here against this talented team from East London. Carrick caught offside. Here's Mooney, the right back. Richard Money, who is in charge of Coventry's academy, hoping to get his team to make a fast start here, get in amongst West Ham, and he's picked 3 attackers to try and do that. Ruben, the number 9, the main one through the middle. West Ham free kick. West Ham knocked out the holders, Everton, at the semi-final stage. Taylor. From Joe Cole. Carrick, who's from the Newcastle area. He's looking to forge a career in football in London. Well, it was a decent strike from the player of whom we expect a great deal.
Well, it was a glimpse of what we can expect perhaps over the next 2 games of West Ham against Coventry City. Joe Cole, really, Coventry cannot allow him to dictate matters in midfield.
Yes, as Brian pointed out, Robert Betts, the Coventry number 4, is the player most likely to get into Cole's area of the pitch. Cole playing a little bit ahead of the midfield, but he's got responsibilities in that part of the pitch when Coventry are on the ball, which they are now, with the Mooney's aggression. In comes Stephen McPhee.
Well, that's the type of break, really, that Coventry City will be looking for, certainly in those full-back areas. A terrific run and cross from Jerry Mooney. And Stephen McPhee coming in from this left-hand side, very, very near to exploit that.
Touched by Garcia. Kirkland, who's been on the Coventry first-team bench because Steve Grizovic, who's still here after all these years, has needed neck surgery. In fact, Kirkland wasn't allowed to play in the first leg of the semi-final for the risk of missing a first-team game. Good pressure by Craig Peed, who knows Joe Cole well from the FA school at Lillishall. Quite a little contest between those two. They have similar roles for their respective sides. Stedman Angus to take the free kick. Number 9, Bertie Brayley, playing up with Garcia, who's on the ball here. Garcia, one of the Australians, he's of Spanish origin, a Spanish speaker. Ferrante, as you might imagine, an Italian family.
Well, I think Coventry are going to have to be careful not to give away silly free kicks, and that's exactly what they're doing at the moment, because West Ham, you know, we talked about the talent that they possess in these types of areas. Ferrante will come across to look to take this and bend this in round about the penalty area.
by Newt. As Erikpen had stayed forward, couldn't make contact. He got to the very edge of a Premiership game. He was about to come on at Old Trafford, of all places, in January when the final whistle went.
He missed out on his bonus, presumably.
To defend here. He's a player that West Ham would like to get going forward. Oh, and Bywater now, he's slid out of the area and he's handled it. And the referee, I think, taking the conditions into account here, has given the free kick, and that's all he's done.
Well, Stephen Bywater, there you can see the conditions really, and not really aware of where he is, and clearly outside the box. And as you've rightly said, Rob Harris deciding that the free kick is more than enough.
The set-piece specialist is Craig Peed. They've been working on their set pieces this morning, Coventry. Might to scramble through for half a chance. It didn't quite go according to plan, and West Ham bring it out with Cole. Gets past McPhee. Ferranti was trying to take it on. The referee, I think, has pulled the play back for Cole getting caught himself after he'd released the ball.
Well, we had an important free kick at one end, and this certainly is going to be very important. It's certainly for Chris Kirkland. He needs to get his wall absolutely spot on.
But Ferrante is the real set-piece specialist. He scored in the semi-final first leg against Everton, and he takes this one, but Chris Kirkland makes sure he doesn't score here.
Well, he fancied it, didn't he? Michael Ferrante really did line himself up to bend that ball over and around the wall. Great technique, great execution, and you've got to say very good positioning from the goalkeeper.
Certainly a greasy ball to try and claim at full stretch. Betts. Mooney. Oh, it's McSheffrey. It's a chance for the main man for Coventry. And he just went too wide.
Well, there's a couple of occasions now where Coventry have just got in behind those centre-half positions. A wonderful first touch. And again, just a little bit unfortunate. The conditions perhaps taking him away, but what a super first touch, really. Thinks he has a little bit more room to play with, and Stephen Bywater just does enough to send Gary McSheffrey out of play.
McSheffrey, very much one of Coventry's own. He was born 100 yards or so away from the ground here, still lives in the family home. He is more left-sided than right, whether that was a factor in the end in that particular incident, but the menace was there. And now Coventry have to look to defend the corner here. Challenged by Erikpen. Garcia's in there, and the goalkeeper couldn't claim it at the feet of the West Ham skipper. And here's Joe Cole. The hammers come again.
Well, I think Joe Cole will be disappointed with that final outcome, but certainly good play at either end. It has been a very open game, I've got to say. I think both sides having chances. I think we expected the conditions to perhaps allow teams to make mistakes, but also create good chances. And encouragement for Coventry. They've got in a couple of times in behind the three centre-halves of West Ham.
On by Harry Ben. There's another Coventry lad. It's very important within the football industry, the success of youth teams, that homegrown talent is properly developed. We've seen it in these Youth Cup finals in recent years. And Francis Jeffers was a scorer in this final a year ago, and he was with the full England squad last month. Here's Eriben. Now comes Bywater. McPhee gets round him, and unfortunately for Coventry, loses his balance when he was trying to cut it back towards a goal that lacked a goalkeeper.
Well, again, it's that area, very vulnerable in behind these three centre-halves. A terrific ball, and there you can see Stephen Bywater thinks he's doing the right thing because of the conditions there. A terrific paced pass, and there was McPhee, just a great little touch, but again, the conditions failing him.
Who was involved in that promising Coventry move. P. Making use his passing ability. Mooney, Coventry trying to play with pace here. He's heading. Durante trying to pick a pass to the left-hand side. Looking for Brayley. Cole, who undoubtedly is one of the country's top young talents. Strong header by Cudworth, who's another of Coventry's 16-year-olds. Cut-off point at this level was under 18 on the 1st of August last year, so usually teams are packed with 18-year-olds. Not so this year.
The one good thing about Joe Cole, like a lot of good players, whatever level he's playing at, he always seems to have that, just that little bit more time, doesn't he, than the rest.
I think the real problem watching him, and I would offer this advice to you all at home, is not to expect so much. The build-up has been absolutely enormous, hasn't it? If he plays an ordinary pass, you feel disappointed, and that's not fair on the lad. Mooney. Here's Matt Lewis, who's naturally a right-sided player, but asking to service here because of the injury to the unfortunate Danny Hall, who's here on crutches tonight to support the lads in a final he'd love to be playing in. Eriben and Bywater. It's a deal, it's a very complicated deal, the West Ham transfer of Bywater from Rochdale, but it could, with all sorts of conditions, add up to more than £2 million. Just played one senior game in his time at Rochdale, Stephen Bywater. Very highly rated in the north of England to attract West Ham's interest.
I think it's quite refreshing also that West Ham have been prepared to go into the lower divisions and try and secure the services of a great young talent.
That's something that used to happen a lot, of course. It was less so since the Bosman ruling. Nicely played by McPhee. Played there. More on that in a moment. Eriben looking to surge through. It's a complete miss-hit by Graham. In fact, if Eriben had chased that, he might have kept it in, but he was, like most of the people in the crowd, taken a bit by surprise by what happened then.
Well, again, it was that area in behind the two centre-halves, so the three centre-halves, Eriben, Forbes and Angus, that are causing problems to West Ham United. And certainly Eriben, McSheffrey and McPhee are beginning to exploit opportunities just like that. And it was Mark Graham who was a little bit unfortunate following up.
His natural game is to push on like this, bags of pace and confidence. Cole. Nicely dealt with by Coventry. Being asked to hold it up, but he couldn't do it that time against the attentions of Eriben. Cole. There's a chance for Newton to show his crossing ability, maybe a second chance. And it's too high for Garcia, who'd had to change his position and couldn't quite get off the ground quickly enough. talking about Stephen McPhee for Coventry, and he played for several years in the youth football in Holland for Vitesse Arnhem. His family moved out there for his father's work, and then changing circumstances, they came back to England, to the Bedford area, and contacted Coventry and said, would you like to take our lad? And they certainly, having had a look at him playing for Vitesse against Ajax in youth football, and he scored a couple of goals in that company, they were very happy to take advantage of the offer. Number 6 then, Mark Burrows, is a major target at these Coventry free kicks. That's him.
Well, it was a well-delivered free kick from Craig Peed, and really Coventry had done very well. They bunched together and then they begin to spin off into all sorts of different directions, and it was Mark Burrows who was the player at the far post, but just really got caught underneath it and not really got the header that he would have liked.
No relation to the Coventry first team player, David Burrows, but they do share the same nickname in the dressing room, Bugsy. Garcia. Well, it was a sight of goal for Bertie Brayley. And he's very annoyed with himself for not keeping that one down.
Well, this is a wonderful play from Garcia. Showed plenty of pace and tenacity to really chase what looked a lost cause, and the ball came fairly kindly to Brayley. Just a little pullback, super there. That's when you really just need that little bit extra composure.
Second leg to come at Upton Park. A week tonight, we'll be there as well. Really hectic time in the football calendar. Culmination of the nationwide football league at the weekend. And then a succession of Premiership games on Sky Sports for you. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Don't go out.
Taylor, really realising he couldn't get there. Coventry have only won this competition once before, in 1987, on the eve of their finest hour, the FA Cup final against Tottenham. So I was mentioned that when Clive Allen's one of our guests tonight. By Ferrante, who's only been in England since January, and he's had to learn about the levels of commitment in the game in this country, but he's learning quickly. He's conceded a free kick, another chance for Craig Peed to show his ability at the dead ball situations. That's coming away to the back. Behind to Carrick, useful there in West Ham's defending.
Well, again, very clever from Coventry, bunching whenever they're getting set pieces and then beginning to spin in different directions, and they really are trying to get that player in at the far post. That time it was Robert Betts.
Lewis. Lewis. In the end, West Ham maybe a little slow to react. Terrell Forbes got a block in. This isn't the style of play that Coventry have been using in other FA Youth Cup matches. With the extra attackers pushed forward by Richard Money and the youth team coach George Mackey.
I think it's a formation that they've decided on, clearly, with West Ham playing those 5 players at the back. And I think, as you can see with McPhee and McSheffrey, they're just slightly withdrawn. Unfortunately, really, that Coventry have not had that supremacy long enough.
George Mackey there.
And for in great areas to really try and dominate the play in midfield. And for me, I'd certainly like to see Craig Peed on the ball a lot more in that midfield area.
Well, it does do this formation of Coventry as well, which is akin to the Terry Venables Christmas tree. It gives them 3 against 3 against West Ham in the centre of midfield. Garcia. It's broken for Brayley, but danger snuffed out very quickly by Burrows.
I think you'd be thinking at this stage of the game, Martin, that just that nervousness of playing in such a big occasion will begin to wear off, and now showing that composure.
Composure by Lewis. Peed. Harry Ben makes a good run.
Made some good runs this evening. He really has made some good runs. He's not looking all the time to go too quickly in behind centre halves.
Harry Ben. Back to Cudworth. Burrows, everything in front of him. He was looking for Harry Ben, but sliced it. Here's a good attendance. The Coventry officials here were concerned about the timing of the rain. It was a pleasant morning in the West Midlands, but it certainly clouded over after lunch at the time where maybe people are deciding whether they would come out on a Friday night or not. Good representation all 4 sides of the ground. And plenty of youngsters. It's great to see. We're halfway through the first half of the first leg of the time-sponsored FA Youth Cup final.
It's going to be tremendously encouraging when you see the likes of West Ham and Coventry City playing in a final like this, Martin, because everybody tends to think it's Manchester United or Liverpool have got the best youngsters, but clearly these 4 sets of players have come through a lot of tough games this season, and they're here in the final representing the clubs. It's a wonderful achievement.
Cole getting the better of Peed. He would have enjoyed that. Brayley. Kirkland's height, a great advantage to Coventry, though. Only just turned 18. It's one feature of this game. We've got 2 very, very promising goalkeepers. Kirkland's going to be challenged by West Ham here. It's Bertie Brayley. There's a big danger of Garcia going offside in any case.
It was a great opportunity, wasn't it, really? And it was Thomas Cudworth getting caught the wrong side of Brayley and allowing him to pursue and charge down on Chris Kirkland's goal. But really, as a defender, on conditions like this, you really got to give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Just that extra yard and not to be allowed to get caught in behind.
Nicking it away from Peed. Back come Coventry. So Ferranti steps in. Carrick, who was signed as a forward, but been used as one of 3 central midfield players, and it's a probing pass. It's got Newton on the run. Well, that's more a little cameo of what West Ham have done so well to reach this final, to get Newton away down the right-hand side and Garcia to attack the cross.
Well, it's a terrific ball, isn't it, from Michael Carrick, and really Adam Newton having lots of time really to pick out the right player. Unfortunately, just slightly behind Richard Garcia. He has to check, and he can't quite get the header that he would have wanted, but that's certainly better from West Ham, and certainly better from Adam Newton.
Garcia. And the take on Lewis. It's only a big test for Matthew Lewis, playing out of position, playing in a part of the pitch where West Ham are strong with Newton's runs. Cole. Garcia. Given against the captain.
Well, that's clever play really for West Ham, and it's really Newton and Garcia, very tight area really to try and play a little 1-2s, and it was super play initially from Garcia, just a little nutmegs, and he's in behind, and with his pace it's just a little nick away from the defender. And really it was Cudworth making what a clumsy challenge really, that's given West Ham a free kick in a very dangerous area.
Then gets to it. Garcia, and it looks for a moment, with appeals prior to that for handball, it looked as though the ball was going to wriggle beyond Kirkland and maybe inside that post.
Well, it's the initial free kick that causes all the problems, and it's a deflection actually between the legs of Cudworth that almost skids off the surface with lots of pace and lots of swerve, and it very nearly caught Chris Kirkland unawares.
McPhee. Durante. Risky overplaying in this part of the pitch, but West Ham backing their ability. Angus. Here's Carrick. Almost interceptable by Eriben, and in the end McPhee did get a boot to it.
Well, there certainly claims for perhaps a penalty instance at the other end, and I think again the West Ham players were perhaps thinking that Cudworth could have handled the ball in the area, and I'm sure we'll have another look at that in a minute, but again West Ham United carving out some good opportunities with good quality play.
Sheffery. Off the head of Rigpet. Now Lewis. From left back to right back. Here's Jerry Mooney. West Ham unfazed by the big crowd and the playing away in the first leg. They've actually been drawn away in every round, so it's not been easy, including an away match with Arsenal, which finished goalless, and thrilled West Ham to win the replay 4-0. Probably their performance of the season. Always a bit of a barometer at Upton Park at youth level, how well they do in comparison to Arsenal. Well, they did very, very well this season. They're finding here a Coventry side playing with as much pace as they can when they get the ball, getting the ball on a regular basis in midfield, not easy. Carrick. And Newton to stretch those long legs of his, but he won't quite get there, and the pitch, although it's wet, not sufficiently wet to hold the ball up there. Let's have a look back at what Brian was talking about. Penalty appeal.
I think that when you see Cudworth there going for the ball, and it then really ricochets off him, and perhaps West Ham claiming there for a penalty, but it looked to me as if it caught Thomas Cudworth clearly on the chest, and well, I think Chris Kirkland was just delighted to get the ball in his hands.
I tend to forget the goalkeeping is not all about reaching upwards, it's quickness of the feet as well, isn't it? And Kirkland needed to show some athleticism there to change direction and get back quickly.
to what you mentioned earlier, Martin, about the quality of this West Ham United youth side. I think that full credit really to Coventry. They really have worked tremendously hard. I think they knew they were up against a side that were clearly favourites, having beaten Arsenal, to go and perhaps win this trophy, but really they've looked well organised, very resolute, showing great determination, and they have carved out a good couple of chances.
Oh, that's a miscue there by Forbes. Couldn't be seen as a back pass. And the outcome is a Coventry corner.
Well, again, it's this area for me that Coventry have certainly proved they can cause West Ham United problems, and really Tyrrell Forbes getting it all wrong really with his clearance.
Well, they've gone out maybe to try and work 2 against 1, but West Ham have been alive to that, so they go 3 against 2. Forbes, who conceded the corner, plays his part in defending it. There's a lot of confidence and a lot of class in West Ham's passing. Newton. Garcia.
Well, again, I think that epitomises for me the hard work that really Coventry City are putting in, because they've lost possession in what was a very good area for them, but they've worked tremendously hard to try and close West Ham down.
Coventry would love to get a lead here tonight, of course, but their main priority is to stay within range for the away match. Remember, in the semi-final they won their away leg 4-0 at Newcastle. Sometimes it's a bit tense playing on the home ground, into the big crowds for these young players, and playing away they can be a bit more relaxed. His kick. He's being coached these days by Les Seeley, who's here tonight. And of course, Les was the goalkeeper not only for West Ham but for Coventry City.
A few more as well you could throw in.
Yeah. So 0-0 at over half an hour. The attempt at progressive play by Coventry City, a bit more hustle and bustle. West Ham trying to be cool and play to a method that served them so well this season. Joe Cole very much pulling the strings. Nicknamed by Ian Wright, I understand, the Conjurer.
Give a very clever performance this evening. It's not easy out there, conditions are difficult at times, but again, we talked about that composure that he shows, and he always looks as if he's got bags of time really to pick players out.
Good touch by Garcia, really looking to link up with him. Pressure on Peed there by Carrick. Forward by Mooney. Graham. Tony Carr is in charge of the West Ham team. He very proud of his 3-man centre of defence. Cole. Looking for Brayley here, who's moved well and looked to loop it, and again they lengthen the frame of Chris Kirkland, the saviour really, but the flag was up in any case, but Kirkland wasn't to know that. Brayley looking to work off the shoulder of the last defender. He just went a bit early, and still it was a fine stop.
Well, it was. It's a super ball from Joe Cole in behind the centre-halves. Brayley perhaps hasn't got the shot that he would have wanted ideally, but it just does enough really to, well, I guess that would have been an incredible lob to do Chris Kirkland, because he's an almighty tall youngster, and really just does enough to stretch back. He certainly wasn't aware that it was an offside decision.
pulling there on the shirt of McPhee, but referee Rob Harris quite rightly allowing Coventry to go on. Crossed by Gray. And, it was misjudged by Eric Penn. That's going to be a free kick. He's probably as much annoyed with himself as with the referee for the subsequent decision.
Some clumsy defending really from the West Ham captain, but Eric Penn really, if he'd been a little bit more on his toes, he was caught back on his heels when Eric Penn missed the header, and well, if he'd been a little bit more alert, there was a real half chance for him.
Certainly in the semi-final first leg, West Ham did look weak in the air. Crosses despite the size, and just surfaced that weakness a moment or two ago. And he got that. After tracking back by McPhee. And here's the Coventry playmaker, Craig Peed. Harry Ben looking to use the strength in his running. There goes West Ham's way.
Well, it's a little bit unfortunate because I think he'd done enough, but again, good closing down, good break from Coventry City. Peed very much at the heart of it.
There's Craig Peed again. And it's Carrick for West Ham. Betts is a Yorkshireman from Doncaster. Standing in front of the two centre-backs for Coventry, Burrows and Cudworth. Now here's McSheffrey. Haven't got him on the ball as much as they would have liked, Coventry. Lewis. Peed's cross. Well, the chance was Stephen McPhee's.
Well, it really was a half chance, and it was well-worked move down this left-hand side, and it was Peed's cross, but, well, he's a little bit unfortunate because that ball came to him very quick off what was a greasy surface, and unfortunately Stephen McPhee just couldn't quite control his effort on goal.
West Ham were in the final 3 years ago. It was billed as Rio Ferdinand against Michael Owen, West Ham and Liverpool. Liverpool took the honours in the end. And of course, Owen was responsible for that success. Lampard Jr. also played in those games in '96, and Jamie Carragher, now an England international, is on the Liverpool side.
Full credit to both clubs. They've certainly proven that youngsters can come through.
For McPhee here. Newton staying with him. And wrapping himself around Stevie McPhee. So Coventry have a free kick here. We're coming towards the last 5 minutes of the first half. Certainly a promising position. Feed it through again towards the tall figure of Burrows.
Coventry set pieces this evening certainly haven't been up to the perhaps a normal standard. You talked earlier about they've probably worked a lot in midweek, but hasn't come off for them so far.
Leeds cross. Well, coming up for you, the climax to the nationwide First Division, Wolves and Bradford. Bradford needing to win to guarantee a place in the Premiership. Ipswich, their main rivals. Newton. That was blocked by Kirkland. Forbes trying to keep West Ham on the front foot here. And he's had plenty to do in the first half. An indication of the shape of the first period, which hasn't produced a goal, but has shown plenty of potential from West Ham United. Flicked by Garcia. Cole gets past the two. Here's Garcia, and brought down by Mark Burrows, and Rob Harris has given West Ham a penalty.
Well, really, this was a reckless challenge, wasn't it? Because Garcia's only going to want play, but what super play from Joe Cole. Really weaving in and out of defenders. Great little ball, and there was just enough to take him past the defender.
Here goes Bertie Brayley. And still Brayley, but Kirkland is again the Coventry hero. Especially for Mark Burrows.
Well, he made his mind up very early, didn't he? There you can see he goes very early indeed. He guesses the right way. Perhaps Brayley, looking back on that, may have just perhaps had a second look at it, but really a great save from Chris Kirkland.
Well, he anticipated the direction of the penalty and then was very, very brave to deal with the follow-up, as Brayley came in to try and make amends for not the best directed penalty. So a double save by Chris Kirkland. Peed. Very bad. Craig Peed for Coventry.
Great change for West Ham, and Bertie Brayley will be hugely disappointed. He knows his side have had a great opportunity to go 1-up, but full marks to Chris Kirkland. He did anticipate, he did go down early. Certainly, as you can see there, Brayley really not knowing where the goalkeeper is. And he gets it at the second attempt.
A situation not long ago in a Premiership game when Magnus Hedman was injured and stayed on because Coventry didn't want to risk putting Chris Kirkland into the real firing line. Not sure how much of a risk that would have been, judging by what we've seen from him here tonight. Forbes. Cole, who, as Brian was rightly saying, was very prominent in the build-up to the penalty incident. Although Burrows mistimed it badly again, praise for Garcia, who rather sucked him into it, knew what he was doing, and drew the foul, really.
Well, he's got a lot of pace, Richard Garcia, and I think as a defender on surfaces like this, you really can't commit yourself too early. And that was just what Mark Burrows did.
Here is Garcia. McSheffrey, little glance there. It gave something for Erivan to chase. You can see how wet the pitch is. Just on the edge of that West Ham penalty area. It's been intriguing because Richard Money wanting Coventry to come up with something a bit different, respectful of what West Ham have got to offer here as high-quality opposition at this under-18 level. And Coventry have played with purpose, but their goalkeeper has still been by far the busier of the two. Chris Kirkland, the thumbs up, and rightly so. He's had a tremendous first half, which culminated in the penalty save after Garcia was mowed down by Burrows, dropping down to tremendous effect. Kirkland to keep out Bertie Braley's penalty. So we go to half-time in the first leg of the FA Youth Cup final of 1999. Coventry City 0, West Ham United 0. We'll be back after the break.
The day of reckoning. Bradford on the brink of top-flight football for the first time in 77 years. Travel to a Wolves still hungry for that final playoff place. And in a parallel struggle, hoping Bradford will stumble, Ipswich must see off Sheffield United for a chance of automatic promotion. See the drama unfold in another massive day of football, Sunday from 12 on Sky Sports.
Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day.
No mixing, no sanding, no cracks. Polycell Light and Easy Filler. It only takes 2 ticks.
Let's be honest. How many of us have no idea where all our money goes? And how many of us feel guilty that all we seem to do is spend? You can find a way of saving. ISAs mean more people can save tax-free. But who finds the thought of getting one a bit daunting? That's why we made it easy for you to choose your ISA. So easy that if you don't want to see anyone, you don't have to. More control over your money means more control over your life. Everyone should have savings.
With summer comes pollen and hay fever. Beckinase allergy, unlike tablets, works right at the center of the problem, the nose. With just 2 little squirts twice a day, its effective anti-inflammatory action quickly gets to work, relieving the symptoms and providing all-day protection. Get your summer back this year with Beckinase Allergy Direct Action Spray. Freedom from hay fever is right under your nose.
What's in Colin Montgomery's bag?
Well, the new Great Big Bertha Hawkeye driver. And of course my Big Bertha Steelhead Fairway wood. Don't forget the fabulous Big Bertha X12 irons. Oh, and then there are 6 consecutive Order of Merit titles.
Callaway Golf. How golf should feel.
It will make you the highest paid football player in Europe.
We just have a few other requests.
Like a Ferrari.
A Ferrari.
And a boat.
A boat.
No problem.
Actually, I'd like a Ferrari boat.
We can do that.
And I'd like an aardvark.
Fine.
And an acrobat.
Good.
And a ballerina.
Why not get 2?
And a Bunsen burner.
Gonna be getting hungry. Grab a Snickers, 'cause nothing handles your hunger better.
And I'd like to change the name of the team to the Gwendolyn's.
That's reasonable.
Hungry? Why wait?
Mobile One. Feel the difference.
Wood goes alone. Great save. And there's Owen. Michael Owen on target against West Ham 3 years ago, one of several big-name players to have appeared in an FA Youth Cup final. It's goalless at half-time here at Highfield Road. Don't forget, next week the title race builds towards its climax. Manchester United against Middlesbrough on Sunday. Sky Sports 1 from 3. Monday night, it's Tottenham against Chelsea from White Hart Lane. That's from 7. Then on Tuesday, it's Arsenal's turn at Leeds. That's also from 7 on Sky Sports 1. And on Wednesday, Manchester United back in action at Blackburn. It's all live on Sky Sports 1. Well, no goals yet here, but plenty of incident, plenty of opportunity in very difficult conditions, it has to be said. 11 attempts at goal, just the 3 on target, all for West Ham. That one golden opportunity, which they spurned just before the interval. Just a couple of offsides, some strong challenges, but it's been fair. Mr. Harris hasn't been overworked. And as far as the action areas are concerned, well, West Ham shading them, Coventry with marginally more possession. Been very entertaining stuff from a neutral point of view. Clive Allen has joined me here. Clive, first of all, the conditions, they're not easy, and the players have done their best in the circumstances, haven't they?
They have, yes. It's very, very wet on top. A bit of surface water, the ball skidding across, making it very, very difficult to control the ball with the first touch. But there have also been some quality play considering those conditions.
Joe Cole has produced some outstanding moments, and it was his trickery and pass which led to the West Ham penalty 4 minutes before half-time. First of all, Clive, any question marks over the decision by the referee?
No, absolutely no questions. Garcia gets onto the little through ball. Burrows is committed, and without a doubt, he takes Garcia out. Penalty was the right decision, but it was exquisite play from Joey Cole. Great poise and balance. When you talk about players opening up defences, that was exactly what you would expect of someone with Joey Cole's ability.
Bertie Brayley's big moment from the penalty spot. I'm afraid he's going to have nightmares about it for the next couple of weeks at least. Just didn't go for him, did it?
He wasn't convincing, and I just think when you open up to side foot it, you almost make your intention clear to the goalkeeper. Kirkland certainly guessed the right way and managed to grab it at the second attempt. He'll feel it's a golden opportunity that he's missed this evening to put West Ham in front. I think possibly they just edged it in the first half and deserved that lead.
What about Coventry from an attacking point of view? They've got McSheffrey, who's played in the Premiership. What have you made of his contribution so far?
He looks very lively. He certainly has a lot of pace. I think when Coventry have hit decent ball in behind West Ham's defence, he always looks likely to be getting onto it, as he did early on in the game. We've only had glimpses of his ability, but he looks to be a threat.
And goals to come in the second half at one end or the other, surely?
I think so, yes. I think the surface will dry out a little bit this evening, and it will make for a better passing game. Even more entertainment, I'm sure, in the second half.
Thank you, Clive. Half-time then, it is goalless, but we've had plenty of incident. It's an open match, which is what we expected, and there's a very healthy crowd inside Highfield Road. They're enjoying themselves. They want some goals from the home side, though.
It's one wide load in charge of another.
Your father always gets to have such exciting adventures.
Let me run down this old lady.
We got a postcard from your father. Wish you were her.
What's this?
This trucker's in tons of trouble.
You stumbled on the secret.
Clash.
Dad, they're trying to kill us.
Bang.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Wallop.
Dad, stop.
Homer's got into his very own demolition derby in a brand new Simpsons Sunday from 6. Sky 1.
I left university about a year ago. Now we're escorting these civilian convoys because the civil wars have been over that long, so these aid convoys need protection.
Minefield! Zero, this is Mike 20, contact wait! Stay the truck! Stay in the truck!
Right, we got to get to them.
There's a family swimming by the shore. Can you hear them? A shark can. And it can reach them in under 20 seconds.
Perché você não fica para tomar o último tiro? Ah, que bom. Então você pode me ajudar com esse muro?
He who drinks Australian thinks Australian.
Good morning, members of the press and friends. On this historic day, it is my great honor to welcome we as a nation here are very up there. Commander, are you on the next flight?
What kind of car is that?
It's a Volvo.
But how long have we been away?
Out here, we have no need for money off our British gas bills, as we have no gas or electricity.
And we have no need for savings on our BT phone bill, because we have no telephone.
And what use have we for vouchers for Marks and Spencer or Boots when we are self-sufficient?
But we have goldfish, because they are simple creatures.
Vince blew another bubble.
You'll be surprised what you can do with a goldfish.
Human DNA differs from chimpanzee DNA by just 1%.
Time's draining away. Sunday, treble-chasing Manchester United, still on for a record 5th title. Take on a volatile Middlesbrough. Then on Monday, a London derby. Chelsea, still on the championship trail, face a tough game against arch-rival Spurs. While on Tuesday, title holders Arsenal, in championship form, travel to Leeds for a pitch battle against the O'Leary lads. And on Wednesday, Manchester United travel to Blackburn for a game they must win to take it to the wire. The outcome? Only time will tell. A Premiership football feast, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Sky Sports 1.
We're all set to go again at Highfield Road, so let's rejoin our match commentators Brian Marwood and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Marcus. Coventry City to start the second half. Maybe feeling a bit fortunate to be level at this stage. West Ham squandering the penalty opportunity. And I think Brian Marwood and I agreeing with Clive Allen that 1-0 to West Ham at half-time would have been perhaps a fair reflection on the first 45 minutes, but we start the second half at 0-0. And Joe Cole has to pull a few more strings.
Well, he's the player that's most likely, I think, at this stage of the game to really create certainly problems for Coventry City. And I think it's important that Robert Betts doesn't lose sight of the important role he's got to play in that Coventry midfield, and that's close Joe Cole down whenever he's on the ball.
Jeffrey trying to steer it off on the left-hand side towards Lewis. It is a very, very slippery top. The worst of the rain happily seems to have passed the Coventry area. Cole. That's a mistake, and here's Harry Ben. Shot by Peed. Trying to set again this positive tempo at the start of the second half.
Well, he'll be a little bit disappointed, Craig Peed. I think he sees the goal very early and decides what he's going to do, but certainly given the conditions, it's certainly worth a gambit to try your luck from distance.
Strachan here tonight as obviously the manager of the first team, but also his younger son, Craig, is a substitute for Coventry tonight. Strachan has played in Coventry's first team. Gavin, who's been away recently on loan in Dundee. Brayden. Garcia. He got in behind Burrows, but he left it to the goalkeeper. Kirkland trying walkabout, as Garcia might say, the Australian.
Well, it was a very assured play from the goalkeeper, wasn't it? You'd expect him really just to put that into Rogue's head, but certainly gaining the confidence from his penalty save in the first 45 minutes.
Garcia again. He was not the most accomplished forward player. Newton. He put one of his trademark runs on the game there. Ferrante for West Ham. There's a miscue there by Burrows, but Coventry got away with it. And Angus, the defender, telling the goalkeeper Bywater to come and get it, which he did. Coventry got past Brighton, Notts County, Sheffield United, then Wimbledon to reach the semi-finals. Then won, as I said, in the first half 4-0 at Newcastle, lost the second leg rather nervously at home at 2-1. Went through comfortably on aggregate. So the club's fourth final in this competition. It's the 7th for West Ham. It's Peed winning it from Carrick, who made amends for his error.
You can see West Ham United, whenever possible, they're looking to get Adam Newton more further forward on that right-hand side. He really did cause lots of problems for Coventry City when there were surging bursts, and they really have got to get him more in the game.
Nicely done by Burrows. And pushing header into midfield. No, Betts collected it. It's taken on here by Jerry Mooney. Mark Graham. Northern Ireland. This is Betts trying to use his physical strength and the general sense of optimism. He's a very positive person. But it didn't happen for Coventry there. And Garcia, this forward for West Ham in that, in fact, was Joe Cole. Cole made his debut as a substitute in that FA Cup match against Swansea, the home game at Upton Park. Used sparingly by Harry Redknapp, wanting to push the youngster on far too quickly. And of course, West Ham have been able to do that with some excellent results over the second half of the season. Taylor. Obstructed inside the Coventry penalty area. It's an indirect free kick.
Well, it's Mark Burrows again involved in another controversial incident in that box, but good play again by the left wing back Sam Taylor, looking to be positive, looking to get into those important areas.
Ferrante is there, and Cole. And just changed the angle for Ferrante. Coventry well represented defensively beyond the far post to deal with a deflection. Newton. Oh, he could go all the way here. In the end, Burrows managed to block the run that was threatening to carve them apart.
Well, I really do like the look of Adam Newton. He really does burst and get forward very, very well indeed. Got good feet, and well, how positive was he there? It was tremendous play from the right wing back.
Newton again. Away from him by Peed. Newton, decent angle on that pass as well, bending it away from Lewis. Cole involved again. Looking a very assured and accomplished side at the moment, West Ham United. Ferrante couldn't keep it down after Cole again caused Coventry the problems.
Well, it's fairly ominous at the moment because Joe Cole is really beginning to feature in most of West Ham's best moves. Again, clever play. Just look at the way he links up wide right and then takes it very positive right across the face of the goal and sets a wonderful ball up for Ferrante, really. And Ferrante's just trying to be a little bit too clever in the way he's trying to bend that into the top corner.
Ran off Newton. Good work by Lewis. I think one enemy to West Ham is at times just a little bit of overconfidence. And Matt Lewis is prepared to go in well forward and try and win it back, and the outcome is a Coventry corner. Burrows. Well, he is the man to keep an eye on if you're a West Ham defender or a Sky Sports viewer when those corners come in.
That's a good opportunity, but Eric Penn does very well against him. Just does enough to put him off, but really Coventry now got to try and regain the initiative.
Garcia. Burrows has got some defending to do here. Braley in the centre. Carrick arriving as well. Carrick's taken it in his stride. The angle was becoming more awkward.
He's a little bit unfortunate, Michael Carrick, but again, good pace into those wide areas. And Garcia, this is a great first touch from Michael Carrick. He's a little bit unfortunate again, just losing his footing at a most important time. Very like Stephen McPhee for Coventry in the first half, but really West Ham have upped it a gear or two and they really are beginning to dominate.
Tony Carr didn't quite make the grade at West Ham as a player, but my goodness, he's given them fantastic service as a coach. Only 25 years now. Carrick, of whom Tony Carr has great hopes, and Newton as well. Garcia on for Braley, and too far ahead. Garcia's striking partner. One negative for West Ham, although they are the more confident side. They haven't scored, and Coventry can keep it within range, as we were saying earlier. They feel it will be so much of a weight of expectation at Upton Park. But that could yet work in their favour in the away game. At the moment, the problem is keeping it within range, because West Ham have begun this second half in sparkling style. Garcia. Carrick's in the centre, Braley's in there as well. Ferrante. And there's a deflection, and it is a corner.
Well, really, West Ham United having all the possession at the moment, and just look at the space now and the time in the room that they're getting in important areas. It's certainly something that we didn't see in the first half, because Coventry were working very hard, very dogged and determined.
Bailey with the corner. Again, Kirkland does what is required. All aspects of his goalkeeping being examined here. Mooney. Just to emphasise again, it is a different strategy that Coventry are using, although there are signs that McSheffrey is playing a bit further forward in the second half. Betts. Nice free kick his way for a foul by Cole on him. Cole's not happy with the decision.
Well, he's a little bit unfortunate, Martin, but again, just showing the clever play that he possesses. Right foot, left foot, and that's where Robert Betts of Coventry, the number 4, he's got to get closer to Joe Cole. He can't allow him to dominate.
Here's Betts on the ball. Flag up against Chucky Eriben. Well, that sums up really the way the second half has gone. Very hard for Coventry to mount anything in the West Ham defensive third. But it's still 0-0. West Ham won at Stockport, they won at Walsall, and they played York away, needed a replay then, as they did against Arsenal. It was in the quarter-final. The semi-final 3-1 on aggregate over Everton. Right through past the admirable Chris Kirkland so far. Into trouble in the shape of McPhee. Direct approach from West Ham that time, aiming for Brayley's head. Ferrante. Hogworth did the tackling. McSheffrey trying to get away. Would have been a good race that if McSheffrey hadn't slipped. They're both quick, he and Terrell Forbes. Ferrante. Garcia. Aware of his menace. They've got 2 up now. Sheffield alongside Eriben.
Just look who's picking the ball up though in that midfield area. It seems to always be Ferrante, Cole and Carrick for West Ham. They really are dominating in that area.
Newton finding Cole and wanting it back and getting it back. Support is appreciative of the work of Mark Burrows, not so of the clearance. Eriben. Helped by Peed, but just sliced off his foot then.
Well, it's important with the likes of Craig Peed and Robert Betts and Mark Graham to try and work tremendously hard whenever possible against the West Ham trio in midfield. They certainly are being outplayed in that area.
Carrick. He's a crack himself, but it needs to be pretty special from that part of the pitch to beat Kirkland. The youth football at the top clubs has been organised differently this season. The academy principle that you might have heard about, it means that there are 2 levels, under 17 and under 19, in inter-club competition through the auspices of the Premier League. So this is an unusual departure to play in a tournament that stays at under 18, because it's not just the academy clubs that enter. Any team can enter the FA Youth Cup. So the FA's got to be fair at all levels. He's trying hard to get into the game, Gary McSheffrey, with a limited supply. On the right there with that cross. Carrick. Cudworth. He's given it straight to Garcia. West Ham, having missed a penalty towards the end of the first half, an hour gone. They haven't scored here at Highfield Road, although they challenge Coventry again here. It's nicely done by Mooney. Good technique and good self-belief, but in terms of creating further forward, that's where Coventry are finding it very difficult.
Well, the ball's coming straight back at them, Martin. They really need to get some sort of domination, some sort of consistency with their possession, and it's a very wild challenge from Mark Graham.
A quick chance to tell you what's coming up on Sunday from the Nationwide First Division. Wolves against Bradford, Sky Sports 2. Ipswich, Sheffield United on Sky Sports 3. So we just had to break away there to check what was happening with Adam Newton on the far side. And then change the game quickly with his sprinter's pace. Comes from Berkshire, the Ascot area. Rickpen. Was scheduled to play in a live game on Sky Sports that was postponed. An England under-18 game last month that was cancelled at Wickham. Joe Cole, beautiful skill. Can he go all the way here? He got his shot in too. And it looked as though the ball might run away from him. And Kirkland's cleared the ball against one of his teammates. West Ham come again. Newton. Kirkland might take a bit more care this time. Well, it's churlish to fault him, really, so well as he played. He could have put his team in trouble a moment or two ago, having saved from Joe Cole.
Well, he's the man at the moment, isn't he? He really is beginning to dictate the pace of the game. And whenever he's in possession, which has happened on numerous occasions already in this second half, he's causing problems.
Nicely done by Rickpen. Newton. Garcia. Here's Bertie Brayley. Garcia darting into the centre. Brayley's cross. Garcia gets a boot to it and might fashion a chance for himself. Coventry struggling to clear it. Played wide by Ferrante. Newton, Carrick, trying to get it back into Newton's stride. More pressure on Coventry. Garcia, goalkeeper's fumbled it. And, Brayley hoping to make amends for the penalty failure, but Chris Kirkland is at his feet again.
Well, Richard Garcia really has worked tremendously hard, and he really creates and fashions this opening for himself. And that was an awful ball for the goalkeeper to take right in front of him. Nearly spills it, but fortunately gets it at the second attempt.
McPhee. Here's Graham. Harry Ben making a run. It's aimed towards Coventry number 9. Here's McSheffrey. Now maybe a chance for him to show what he's made of. And for Stephen Bywater as well.
Well, he hasn't had too many opportunities, has he, Gary McSheffrey? But really superb technique to get him into an area just wide left. And he digs the ball out of his feet. And that's a fantastic save from Stephen Bywater, because he sees it laid through a crowd of players.
The goalkeeping has been of a very, very high order. forward for Bywater. Comes from a family of goalkeepers. He's the third generation to play professionally. And that was a lovely reach to stop Gary McSheffrey scoring again in the FA Youth Cup. Brayley onside. Played onside by Mooney. Bertie Brayley. Side netting.
Well, he really had an opportunity to atone for his penalty miss, but what a super ball from Joe Cole. Very nonchalant with the outside of his right foot. He really gets himself into a great position, and that's a clear corner for me. That is a complete deflection from the defender. He's a little bit unfortunate. Well, unlucky for him that the referee, Rob Harris, didn't see it.
Through for Brady. Cole quickly on the scene. Hudworth have to work hard then, and that's really the story for Coventry, but they've stuck to it. At times they've been outskilled in midfield. They've stuck at it, and here we are with more than an hour gone, 0-0. Away leg to come, of course.
What West Ham have done in this second half, Martin, is really get Joe Cole in more advanced positions. Garcia and Brayley have split into wider positions, certainly a lot wider than they played in the first half, and it's Joe Cole really just looking to join them whenever possible, and that's really given Coventry a dilemma, certainly for Robert Betts. Does he go into the back four, or does he try and play in that midfield area?
Forward by Betts. Here's McSheffrey. McPhee. And McSheffrey does get there. Back for Graham. It's too long for Eribed. And Luke Penn will keep it in. And West Ham can get onto the front foot once more. But Cole just back on his heels. Let's get a word from the West Ham manager, Tony Curris, with Marcus Buckland.
Well, Tony, it's still goalless. So what are your thoughts at this stage?
Well, I thought we were having a good spell at the present. Might have scored just a few moments ago. Took us about 20 minutes. We expected for Coventry to play 4-4-2. Ended up playing a 4-3-3 in some respects. And it threw us a little bit. But we settled down. I thought we finished stronger in the first half. Obviously disappointed we didn't put the penalty away. It was a poor penalty, must be said. But we're having a good spell at the moment, and I just noticed that Coventry are looking to go back to their formula of 4-4-2, so we'll just see what pans out in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and hopefully we can pitch a goal.
Joe Cole's pushing forward and looking a highly talented player at times.
Yeah, well, we know his talent, Joe. We've just tried to get him in the more advanced positions where he can do a little bit more damage for us. He was getting a little bit stifled first half, where they had three in midfield, really cancelling out our three. So we just try to get Joe in a more advanced position. Hold on a minute while we... No. Just try and do a little bit more damage around their penalty area, and paying dividends to a certain degree, but still looking for the elusive goal.
All right, thanks very much indeed, Tony.
Thank you.
Yes, our thanks to Tony and Marcus. It was Garcia who was annoyed with himself for putting that one over. And the sense of expectation was mounting on the West Ham bench. And it's tight on Eribed. Carrick. A leisurely gait of his. It's Carrick again. And that's more Cole finding space and finding the pass. A brilliant pass for Newton. West Ham United score a truly classy goal at Highfield Road. It's Adam Newton, courtesy of Joe Cole's approach work.
Well, this really has got quality written all over him. For me, the two best players on view. Adam Newton has got forward all evening into those types of areas, but what a wonderful pass from Joe Cole. He's got vision, and he's put an absolutely superb pace on it and said to Adam Newton, off you go, my son, finish that. And how calm and how composed was that for a finish against a 6'2" goalkeeper, and just very nonchalantly chipping it over him. Absolutely magnificent.
Well, the Cole goalkeeper has stopped everything up till now. You get into those situations and there are, well, several ways to go for goal. He chose one of the most difficult ways and did it brilliantly. But it's no more than West Ham United deserve. But Brian, you've been saying all evening there, letting Cole get on the ball. Well, it's obviously something that Coventry are trying to stop, but you have to pay credit to Cole's positional awareness. He just drifts into that area, in behind Coventry's midfield, in front of their defenders. No one tracked him then, and the pass was sublime.
Well, you can see why they know they've got a real nugget with the likes of Joe Cole. He really does dictate the pace, the tempo, and really the precision of his passing. Everything he's done with great quality. And I think that, as Tony Carr was saying, they've tried to get him into more advanced areas.
Here he is, well advanced again. It's Brayley. It's Brayley again. Another save by Kirkland. In the end, the whistle's gone.
Well, the young man could have had a hat-trick, but again, it's that combination of Cole and Newton. This is a super ball in at the far post. He's only got one to aim for, and it's Brayley at the far post. He thinks he's done everything right with the header. It perhaps could have gone back across the keeper, but again, full credit to Chris Kirkland. He really has pulled off some terrific stops.
Yeah, stop for him. The second leg would be a formality. It's certainly not at this stage, but Coventry with the last 20 minutes or so are finding it very hard going at Highfield Road, but that's no real criticism of them. It's a compliment to the sophisticated style of the opposition. Ferrante. Carrick trying to feed it through for Garcia.
They're a very clever side, aren't they, West Ham? I think they've got terrific movement in all sorts of areas. I think that they combine exceptionally well as a side. They've got some very good, technically gifted players in this side. No more than Joe Cole. He's been outstanding this evening. But they've got a lot of pace in the right areas, and I think as Adam Newton proved when he got the goal, or certainly magnificent run from that wide, deep right position.
That's Carrick. And again, a midfield player able to take a touch, have a look, and on this occasion strike for goal.
That's been so impressive about West Ham's play all around the field, actually, Martin. We talked about how good they do cope with the ball technically, and they look very assured this evening.
Of the footwork of Bywater, building right from the very back. West Ham here. They've got Newton in a position to cross, and very good defending by Mooney, the other number 2.
Well, for me, Adam Newton is certainly very close to Joe Cole as far as man of the match is concerned. That is a wonderful ball, and it's almost inviting your strikers to get it on the end of it.
Man of the match award, incidentally, awarded by the sponsors over the 2 games. There's a bit more work to be done yet. Cole and Ferrante doing the plotting at the corner. Oh, it's gone in off Angus. Well, it's a soft second, but West Ham will take that.
Well, it doesn't matter how they come, really, but it's a set piece, and Joe Cole has knocked this ball into the far post, and really, it's an almighty mess, really, and Mark Burrows has got to perhaps question his positioning there. He gets caught under the ball, and there is Steffel Angus. Well, it doesn't matter how it comes, really. They're important whether they come off your chest or whether you delicately chip the ball past the goalkeeper. It certainly put West Ham United very much in the driving seat now.
Well, Coventry had been hanging in there, but the superiority of Tony Carr's side starting to show on the scoreline. It's certainly shown on the pitch in the second half.
Well, they needed to really stem the flow, didn't they, Coventry City? They just needed to hang on and trying to get some sort of dominance in the way of possession, and they just haven't been able to do that because West Ham have played it perfectly in every position.
Well, 2 goals of a very different style, but they each count the same.
Well, Angus can proudly look back and think that he scored a goal in the FA Youth Cup final, and it's a ball really at the far post that Joe Cole has provided, and really when you just look at the marking from these Coventry defenders there, and it's Burrows that really gets caught under the ball.
He's a little bit embarrassed about it, the scorer. Pen back on after having had treatment for what looked like a spot of cramp. Coventry got a corner. That's maybe the concentration of West Ham United now.
Yeah, they need to lift from somewhere, don't they? And it's, well, who's going to try and be brave enough to pull a goal back?
Deep enough for Burrows. Ferrante being pressed, and Luke Penn with some authority with the header. And West Ham could break out now. Offside, it was... flag went up straight away. It's a case of when Cole released it, and Brayley was clearly just too far forward, but Coventry got to be careful here. 2-0, you still go there with a bit of hope to Upton Park next Friday. But any more damage on the scoreline, and it might be quite a party night in the East End. They've got a lot of followers, the West Ham youth team. The word has got around Essex, and a good bunch to come and watch in their various guises, various competitions, under 17, under 19. And of course, many of these players will be playing in the under 19 Premier Youth Final, which I think is now scheduled for a one-off game at Upton Park on Tuesday, May the 18th against Sheffield Wednesday. It's shaping up to be a fantastic end of the season for this group in claret and blue. Garcia, Newton on the gallop again. Ferrante supporting him. Brayley's in the centre. Here's Brayley! Well, he'll be feeling a lot better now, but Coventry won't.
Well, really, when you look at the chances that West Ham have had, what with a penalty and a couple of opportunities from Brayley, but it's this man Newton again, really just does all the hard work there, and it's just with his pace and his touch and his skill and certainly his final ball, really. It's almost on a plate, isn't it, for Bertie Brayley, and how he will celebrate this one. Having missed a couple of glorious chances, he enjoyed that one, but really full credit once again to Adam Newton. Fantastic play in that wide right area.
Well, I seem to have heard Harry Redknapp saying this season he hasn't had any wide players on right or left. Obviously, it's a big step up from this level into the Premiership, but Harry Redknapp and Frank Lampard cannot failed to have been impressed here tonight by Adam Newton. Through the centre here for Coventry. Stand preparing to make a double substitution. Off will go Bertie Brayley. 12 is Lewis Riddle. And Graham going off for Coventry. On comes Martin Grant, who's a striker for Coventry. And Stephen Omonua is the other West Ham substitute wearing number 15. The last 10 minutes. Angus. Forbes. Craft and Cole. And just needing to get attuned to the pace of the game. Born in Nigeria. Educated in the Reading area at the public school. Well, the first half is reasonably even, although we all felt here that West Ham shaded it and the penalty would have given them due reward for that first 45 minutes. I'm sure Tony Carr would have felt that as well. As he said, it was a poor penalty, and it was 0-0 at half-time. West Ham have really imposed themselves on this second half. And although it's going to be really uphill for Coventry in a week's time, I'm sure many of you would like to have another look at this West Ham team play in the relative comfort of their own surroundings with, at the moment, a 3-goal lead.
I'm sure Tony Carr won't want his West Ham side just to take their foot off the pedal. They've still got to probe, and they've got to get Newton and Cole on the ball. Say certainly are the two players that have really created all the damage.
Cole again. Ferrante, who's always been there as a willing foil, and Garcia, who's been particularly impressive, making himself available. Coventry have worked themselves, well, Richard Money and his staff will hope not to a standstill at this stage. Can't be faulted for effort. Taylor, who's not a first choice. Sean Byrne usually plays that position. He's been injured, might be fit for the second leg. But Taylor's done his job in the semi-final underway and here tonight. The unsung heroes at West Ham, Peter Braybrook, who used to play for them years ago as a right winger, played for England as well. offside through the centre. Then the flag didn't go up and the ball didn't get through.
Coventry certainly have got visibly ragged now, and it's understandable really that West Ham have been so much in control in this second half. They really have dictated in every area of the field.
Pede still fighting in, he caught Ferrante then, and that's going to lead now to a Coventry free kick. McPhee was flattened. I wonder whether Craig Pede will here try and go the direct route. Jeffrey's there as well. Hudworth's come forward, Burrows as well. Eraben, of course, is in the thick of things in the centre. Jeffrey, the number 10, leaves it for Pede.
Well, it wasn't a bad effort from Craig Pede, and well, it needs something a little bit special now to get Coventry City back into this game. They had plenty of pace on it, but unfortunately the direction just was slightly too high.
West Ham came here with a great reputation, and they've, if anything, added to it.
They've been very dominant, haven't they? I think that full credit to Tony Carr. He certainly has produced another wonderful team.
Crossed by Garcia, maybe a little bit weary then. A bit more precision, and Coventry could have been opened up again.
Well, he's been a handful this evening, Richard Garcia, and he's beginning to get more and more room. Not sure really whether he's got a cross or a shot in his mind, but certainly zipped across the face of Chris Kirkland's goal.
Very nearly being done to Coventry what Coventry did to Newcastle in the semi-final. James's Park with a 4-goal advantage, and found it rather hard to cope with the circumstances in the home game. Just impeded then. Free kick given by Rob Harris, West Ham's way. Rob Harris will take charge of the second leg as well.
Looking forward to going back to Upton Park, won't he?
I'm sure the referee's rooms are in proper working order for him. Angus. Ferrante. Ferrante in quickly again, trying to use his shooting ability. Blocked by Burrows. In goes Newt. Change for Coventry. This is Dara Doyle, comes from Ireland, left-sided midfield player who replaces Craig Pede, who has found himself in very good company tonight, and the opposition have bossed that area of midfield where Pede so often has been the boss for Coventry's youth team. We're into the last minute with stoppage time to come. Doyle. Cross to Mooney. Well, it was a header by McSheffrey, and now they wish Coventry they could have been in command enough in the game for periods to allow Gary McSheffrey to use the talent that they value so highly here. West Ham have defended capably. They pulled the strings in midfield. They've made the chances, and finally in the second half they've taken 3 of them. 3 also the number of minutes to be played here of stoppage time. Here's Sam Taylor. Eriben. Maybe a late roll of the dice here for McPhee, who's done well to hurdle that challenge. And Sheffrey in the centre. Disappointing for Coventry. Well, when you think they've scored 3, Brian, and Chris Kirkland's been Coventry's best player on the day.
Well, he has pulled off some important saves, but I think we've all marvelled at this West Ham United side. They really are. You know, the obvious one is Joe Cole, but when you look around this side, there's very, very few weaknesses, and I think there's a lot of stars in the future.
Tugworth looking left for Lewis. Second leg will be Coventry's last game of the season. In England, they go off for a trip to Holland for a tournament at the end of the month. This time we'll be going to Germany for something similar. And then these young footballers get the whole of June off. And probably report back a bit later than the senior players, for whom the new season will be on them very, very quickly. Earlier start in the Premiership, beginning of August. And Cole may well be performing at that level on a regular basis. Trying to give this match a perfect postscript for West Ham. Well, some of the Coventry fans have taken an early exit, disappointed for their young team, but I'm sure admiring what they've seen from the opposition. And one would expect West Ham fans to be out in force at Upton Park next Friday night for a game. If you can't get there, we always say get to the game if you can, but we'll try and be the next best thing for you. The match will be shown live on Sky Sports. Barry and I will be at Upton Park in a week's time. Two minor assignments in between. Well played West Ham, no disgrace to Coventry, but they've been well beaten over 90 minutes here, still 90 more minutes to come. Adam Newton, who looked an outstanding player in the semi-finals and has imposed himself on the game. He got the first goal, a goal of real class. A slightly fortunate one for Stebland Angus, 2-0, and Bertie Braley had earlier had the penalty saved, made it 3. Joe Cole involved in so much, putting Newton away. Just a question of time, really, when that was going to come for West Ham. Bouncing in off Angus for number 2. And then here's Newton again, setting up Braley. A very good evening's work for Tony Carr's team. So let's hear from Tony Carr himself, who's with Marcus Button.
Wonderful night as far as West Ham are concerned. Tony is with me. When I spoke to you midway through the second half, you were talking about that elusive goal, and suddenly 3 came along all at once.
Yeah, fantastic. I thought we were having a great spell the second half. I thought we were well on top. We took the game to them a little bit more, pushed them back a little bit more, and a goal was due at that point, and just after speaking to it, as you say, it arrived, and what a great goal it was. Fantastic goal.
I'm sure you don't want to pick out individual performers, but Joe Cole was outstanding. Let's have a look at the goals, Tony, and you can see the key part he played in 2 of them in particular.
Well, the first one. As you can see there, Joe's picked the ball in a more advanced position. Fantastic chip, you know, any senior pro would be proud of that. Fantastic ability.
The second one, fortunate.
Little bit, obviously, a bit of fortune. He's in the spot though. He's hit him. It's in the spot. I don't think he knew too much about it, but we'll have it all the same.
And this third one, Newton down the right was outstanding all night, wasn't he?
Adam has got unbelievable pace. He can beat people and he can outstrip them. He's got fantastic pace and running ability, and he'll be a threat to any defender.
Is it all over now? 3 up, going to Upton Park next week?
Well, it's never all over until it's over, as they say. But obviously, we'd like to try and win the tie, win the cup in a little bit of style now. We've got that cushion of 3 goals. It's just a matter of seeing the job out, doing it sensibly and professionally, and lifting the trophy next Friday, hopefully.
OK, congratulations tonight. Have a very safe and happy trip back to East London.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. So West Ham very much in the driving seat, but don't forget, in the semi-finals, Coventry won 4-0 at Newcastle, so perhaps they prefer playing away from home. Whatever happens at Upton Park next Friday night, you'll see it right here on Sky Sports. Our coverage begins at 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 2. Well, thanks also to Clive Allen, who's been with me tonight. He was impressed by Joe Cole in particular, and Adam Newton. They're going to take some stopping in 7 days. Perhaps the Sky Blues can stop them. We'll see. See you next Friday. For now, from us all, it's goodbye.